Our current mission is comprised of one goal: to see Uluru. But as the kilometres rolled on, we realised the Australian Outback is full of unexpected magic.
Oh, that one's got a massive dick.
From wide open skies to underground cities and Shetland ponies in between. Oh, and a few surprises we didn't see coming. This trip turned into something much bigger than we planned, and it became so much more than just ticking Uluru off the bucket list.
Hello, little friend.
What's that thing they always say? It's all about the journey, not the destination. Hey, I'm Abby, and these are my mid-20s. Welcome to me trying to navigate life. Recently, I've been on a bucket list mission to see Uluru, but we were still 1,123.9 kilometres away from ticking Uluru off the bucket list. Here in Marie, we found ourselves feeling anxious about our next moves, and the 10 zillion flies just added to that mood. I literally just had to fight with like 1,000,001 flies. Oh my god, it is just crazy. Like, you cannot cook. Literally insane, the flies. Come on, come on, come on. Don't scare me.
Fuck Dieu comme fin. On est au milieu de nulle part. Il y a un espèce de mini poney qui arrive. What the fuck?
We had a long 370 kilometre stretch of dirt road to drive on before we would reach Cooper PD. Are we gonna have this for 200 kilometres?
Normal. We're gonna have to for 400 kilometers.
Do we need to do something to our tyres? That's when the anxiety really kicked in. Maybe try to avoid any sharp rocks. My god, no! We've literally got 400 more kilometres of this. Despite the warning signs advising four-wheel drive vehicles on this road, we had come this far, and our only other option was to turn around and go all the way back, which didn't really make that an option. We had to put full faith in Phoebe that she would take these dirt roads over the next couple of days like an absolute champ. Clouds look fake.
What the fuck, why?
Come to the Outback, they said. Oh, this is insane. They just get in every hole. Oh, now I really... Oh. The next couple of nights we'd be spending completely isolated in the middle of the Australian Outback, which was kind of scary, but I do love living off-grid like this. It's like when we get to use our outdoor shower, the real adventure has begun. I was trying to soak it all up and just live in the present moment, and with sunset views like this, I just couldn't believe where we were and what we were doing. I found myself slipping into reflection about the paths I'd chosen which led me here. I could never have imagined that my life would look like this. This is what your unemployed friend, does on a Monday. How insane is that? I've learned that the biggest risk, like the choice to completely break away from the norm of what a 26-year-old is expected to do, have the biggest rewards. Bravery is what it took and what it takes to make choices like this, and look at the reward. These views make that choice the bravest, but in hindsight, the easiest and most rewarding choice I've ever made. From the crack of dawn to the setting of the sun, you know what we were surrounded by. Don't look at this rock. It's the thousands of flies that are worth noting. We were having absolutely no luck at outsmarting them, but aside from the flies, the Outback surprisingly has a lot to offer, especially when it comes to wildlife. I've been captivated by EMUS as they awkwardly gallivant across the desert, foraging for food in the most barren of landscapes. Do you think we have a newfound obsession with emus, don't we? I love them.
Yes.
I really love this bird. Like, they remind me of dinosaurs. Like, it's...
They really are.
They really are, yeah. That's so cool. I think we need to get like some emu like art or something in our van.
Yeah.
Our first stop of the day was Lake Eyre, Australia's largest salt lake. This lake is located right in the heart of South Australia and is kind of eerie because the salt crust stretches out just as far as the eye can see. The lake only fills with water when it floods every few years, and apparently it becomes an oasis for animals to breed and feed. It's hard to imagine that this lake becomes so teeming with life. It was a little haunting. The next stop of the day was something I can't recommend enough. Coward Springs is exactly what I think of when I imagine an oasis in the desert. You can camp here, and I really wish we did, but we just paid the entrance fee to visit the hot springs and use the facilities for the day. They have a cute little date shack where they serve coffee, date products, and the best homemade coffee and date ice cream I've ever tasted. They grow their own dates here in the middle of the desert. They also had a gift shop where we browsed the sticker selection because we are pretty keen on starting a sticker collection on Phoebe's barn doors. What do you reckon about this? I feel like it's just a fun way to remember the places we've been and to connect with other travelers, but it can come across a bit cluttered if it's not done right. You know what I mean? Let me know your thoughts, yay or nay to the stickers. But the real and most exciting thing was the natural hot spring. Coward Springs is actually fed by artesian water from deep beneath the earth, part of the Great Artesian Basin, one of the largest underground water reservoirs in the world. The water bubbles up naturally and is crystal clear and warm year round. It's not a huge pool, but it's just a magical spot, shady, peaceful, and surrounded by trees. Absolute bliss in the middle of the Outback. We popped into the museum and loved seeing the history of the area. We learnt that this was once a very popular spot for camellias. We can see why they came here to refresh and relax. We left feeling very peaceful and so much less anxious about the hundreds of kilometres we still had to drive along the dirt road. Oh my god, finally we were off the dirt road and we made it to Coober Pedy, Australia's opal capital. We are unfortunately on our way to the mechanic this morning because when we took that really lovely bumpy disgusting road, we had a brake pad light come on our van, so we just want to be safe and get it checked. We're hoping that it's just like some dust or debris that's come in and affected the sensor or something like that, because we just had all our safety checks and did our rego the other day, so hopefully nothing majorly is wrong with the van because we don't have a job, so we don't want to be spending money on fixing a van. If we can avoid that, that would be great.
Good luck, Phoebe.
With Phoebe at the doctor's, we headed in on foot to explore Coober Pedy and see for ourselves why so many people call this the quirkiest town in Australia. First up was visiting an underground bakery. Actually, most things are underground here, with 80% of the population living below the surface in dugouts carved out of the hills. That's what makes this place so unique. But it makes perfect sense as temperatures here in summer exceed 45 degrees, so being underground is the best way for locals to escape the heat. Luckily, it wasn't that hot when we were visiting, so all the underground attractions were more of a novelty for us. We went into a few of the museums and ended up at Old Tom's Mine, which gave us a real sense of what life was like here for early opal miners. It was at the beginning of the 20th century that opal mining was first discovered here, and as word spread, people from all over the world flocked to this remote part of South Australia, chasing the dream of striking it rich. The town's name actually comes from the local Aboriginal term Coober Pedy, which means white man in a hole, which I found very fitting. Coober Pedy is now known as the opal capital of the world, producing over 70% of the planet's opals. The work was tough, the heat was brutal, but the chance of finding a gem worth thousands kept people digging. By the time sunset came around, we were celebrating the fact that it was just a wire that had snapped and tripped the sensor light on Phoebe. Woohoo! This was honestly such a relief and definitely worth celebrating with a glass of wine and a gorgeous sunset view over the whole town. We had had a slow start to the morning, but we still had to see the underground church and visit, oddly enough, a cemetery before we could leave Coober Pedy. I just couldn't believe how quirky this town really is. So that was kind of a random one, ticking off seeing a cemetery before we left Coober Pedy, which we're just about to do now. But I'm really happy I did that. I feel like it was a nice little way to reflect on Coober Pedy, the town itself, and also the people here. Things are just quirky and they don't fit into the mold of what society expects that to be. So even things like the gravestones feel like comical and a celebration of somebody's life rather than just the plain concrete block. Just really nice to see that there is more to death than just the sadness. There is love and humour that comes along with this as well, I guess. So yeah, to the road we go, I guess now. Hey. 45. After stealth camping somewhere along the Stuart Highway for the night, today was finally the day I felt like I'd been waiting my whole life for. Of course, I had to start the morning with good breath before we headed into our fourth state of the trip, the Northern Territory. I was beyond excited as per usual, and I think that excitement was my better judgment, honestly.
This is undoubtedly the most excited I have been on our whole van life trip. This day has been on my bucket list for such a long time. I can't see it. I just spotted Uluru out the window. Come on. Where is it? Oh no, it keeps hiding. What an underwhelming moment for the vlog. Oh. Wait, there it is. Oh no. Oh my god. There. Okay, whatever. You might just have to believe that I just saw Uluru. Oh my god. I can't believe this. I've been talking about going to Uluru for such a long time, and it's like, today's actually that day. Can you see it? You can see it. You can actually, oh. Yes. Okay, so that's the first glimpse ever. Beyond excited for this moment. This is exactly what it's all about. Oh, there's drinking water. What a great day to be van lifing around Australia. This is just the ultimate. Yeah, so I think there was a little bit too much excitement just before we didn't actually see Uluru. What we were looking at is another giant red rock that looked really beautiful and big. But it seems the further we drive, the more we realise that was definitely not Uluru. Uluru was probably what we're now looking at on the left there. We're feeling confident that that's the one. Hey, baby.
As we turned left into Yulara, I was so excited to find our camp, get set up, and make a game plan for all the things we wanted to do and see while we're in Uluru. I thought it would be only fair to dedicate a whole video to the Uluru adventure. So you'll have to subscribe and join me in the next episode for the most magical tick off the bucket list.